Hello, 大家好. My name is Xin Wang. I am the Chinese lecturer in Confucius Institute in Krakow. Today, I'm going to use about half hour to give you a brief introduction about Chinese folk music and Chinese instrument, especially one of the instrument which called Guzheng. Chinese folk music is a concept relative to other folk music styles from different countries over the world. Under the classifier of Chinese folk music, there are still dozens of styles. We can see them as Han folk music and ethnic folk music, two parts. In China, over 90% of population are Han Chinese. That's why we have a huge amount of music created by Han Chinese. They are living in different regions and their music presents differently. For example, we know Chinese opera, and the Chinese opera from different regions are actually singing by their own dialects. But in general, it has a character which is the music largely based on the pentatonic scale. For example, in C major, we mostly using Do, Re, Mi, Sol, La. Fa and Si is not often used. Another important part of Chinese folk music is ethnic folk music, so the music of our minorities. In China, we have over 50 minorities. Most of them has their own music style. For example, the Woodwind music style arises from great deserts and high mountain regions of Xinjiang province. Their dancing and music is like a combination of Turkish and Russian styles. And also we have, for example, Tibetan music style, Miao ethnic music style, the Mongol music style, etc. Another thing worth to mention is the notation. Before 20th century, Chinese used the Gongchi notation system. As we can see here on the left side, they're using Chinese characters represent notes. The Gongchi notation is hard to recognize and to write. That's why in the modern times, we're not using it anymore. Instead of it, Jianpu system become more and more popular. It uses Arabic number 1 to 7 represents Do to Si. And of course, Western staff notation, however, is also used. So, what roles Chinese folk music play? Of course, it plays a very important role in people's life and in the society. Until recently, you may hear them during wedding, funeral, festival, or other important social events. Here, I prepared two short videos. The first one is from a funeral in a village. The second one called Happiness, which is a popular piece for New Year. During history, the folk music was also widely used on the sacrificial ceremony. It usually sounds stately and in a very slow tempo. The main instrument used in the music is bianzhong, which is a set of bronze bells with different tones. And of course, we have also some beautiful and romantic music, which, like a social method, helps people to communicate with others. The one I'm going to show you is a song by Miao minorities. It's like a duet, girl and boy singing to each other to show they are falling in love to each other. This type of song, which called shangge, mostly popular in the area where it's mountains.
蝴蝶沾水情又情，丢过石头是水深。有心则花有情，徘徊心不定疑问。
Like all kinds of music, Chinese folk music also expressing people's feeling. Now let's listen a music piece by instrument erhu, which is expressing lonely and sadness. And also the folk song used in the working process. It has a purpose to help people have the same rhythm during group work, like boating, and encourage people work harder. The one I'm showing you is a working song which called Mountain and River Work Song. And next part, I will be talk about. And next part, I'll be talk about the types of Chinese folk music. So we have folk songs, dancing music, 说唱 art, traditional instrument, and Chinese opera. Because of the time limit, I will not talk about Chinese opera, and I'll be more focused on traditional instruments. So first, which is the folk songs. It comes from people's daily life and doesn't have a score on the beginning, so people pass it to next person orally. That's why many of them are lost, but still we have collected over 300,000 pieces over the country. Like the previous examples I showed you, the duet and the work song all belongs to folk songs. The next one is dancing music. Actually, this is a music accompaniment for dancing and performance. It could be instrument with vocal or instrument only. On the left is an example of Woodwind style dance. This minority is very talented and dancing. You can hear the rhythm is very clear and joyful. And the one you have just heard, which is Tang style dancing. So it's from Tang Dynasty. You can hear the music tempo is more slow and the phrase is very legato. 说唱 music. 说唱 music we also call speaking and singing art. So it is a little bit like recitative in Western opera. It is using the way of singing, which is between speaking and singing. It usually to tell a story, also accompanied with a simple instrument. This piece is the typical piece from Beijing and Tianjin. And now we're going to talk about Chinese traditional instruments. We have about 100 kinds of instruments in China. Here is a list of them. I will pick few of the popular instruments to show you how it sounds. The first group is percussion. Some of them look like this. And here in the first video, I will show you 编钟. If you remember, I have talked a bit about it before on the sacrificial ceremony part. Now let's listen to the pure sounds of it. The next one is a kind of Chinese drum. And then there is the bowstring instruments. Not like violin usually put on the player's shoulder, they usually put on player's leg, or like cello on the ground. On the left, I will show you erhu, which is two-strings instrument. The character of this instrument sounds like a beat, the sounds of horse. And the next instrument, which called 马头琴, it is a typical Mongol ethnic instrument. The head of the instrument is sculpted as a horse head. That's why we call it 马头琴, which means horse head instrument. The next group is woodwind instrument, usually made by bamboo or other wooden materials. Let's first listen to a very soft and deep sound from xiao. On the right side is 唢呐, not like xiao. The color of 唢呐is totally on the opposite. It's made by wooden and metal. The color of the sounds is very bright and even a little bit sharp. This instrument is good at imitating the sounds of birds. Now we are going to the last group, that's string instrument. So on the left side top, which is zheng, and below is qin. These two instruments looks very similar to each other, but zheng is much bigger size compared with qin. Zheng has 21 strings, qin has only 6. Here, on the left side, It's 琵琶. Now we will listen to this instrument because you will hear the name of the instrument is imitating the sounds of itself. It sounds like jade beads drop on the plate. On the right side is Yuan, is also a Han instrument. The color of this instrument is very warm. The last instrument I will introduce you is Guzheng. Guzheng, which means old and ancient, the first character, Gu. Zheng is imitating the sound of the instrument as well as refers to the instrument with strings stretched between two bridges. If we are looking for the roots of Guzheng, it could early even before the 6th century, before Common Era. The oldest Zheng being found so far dates to about 598 before Common Era. It was found in Guixi in South China in 1979. There are several types of Guzheng. The most common type is 160 centimeters long and with 21 nylon strings and ice-shaped tail, but also 18 strings are used. Now let's take a look on the photo. You can see on the right side, this is the head of the instrument. And here is the tail of the instrument. This is what we call S-tail. And also we have different tail. It could be straight one or other shape. Here on the head side, there is actually a box. And inside the box, you will find the tuning pegs. So we can change the pitch by turn the tuning. And back to the side of the instrument, we will see there are 3 holes. So, and the main body, its sides, the 3 holes which we called 出音孔. It means the house will be sounds spirit out. And this body is the instrument resonating body. Guzheng is usually held by 2 wooden standards and player set on the right part of the instrument. Another type of Guzheng was to mention is butterfly type. It was designed by Guzheng artist He Bangquan in 1980s. It has 49 strings, so on this instrument we can play some completed music pieces and even some piano works. Guzheng are commonly turned to the pentatonic scale. The two most common cases are the K, D major, and the G major. Now let's listen to the sound of Guzheng. And on the end of the presentation, I prepared you a short performance by Guzheng, which called Yi dance. Yi is another minority mostly live in Sichuan province. Now let's enjoy it. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.